Let's start with that major development. Special counsel Robert Mueller turning in his long-awaited report. Here's what we know right now. A senior justice official confirming to ABC News Robert Mueller is not recommending any further indictments. Attorney General William Barr could deliver his first summary of the Mueller report to Congress as soon as this weekend.
Both Democrats and Republicans in Congress are calling for the release of the full report. The 22-month investigation costing $25 million and leading to 37 indictments.
And those indictments include 6 President Trump associates, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, one-time campaign chairman Paul Manafort, Deputy Campaign Manager Rick Gates, Foreign Policy Advisor George Papadopoulos, personal attorney Michael Cohen, and longtime political operative Roger Stone. All but Stone have pleaded guilty. We do have team coverage this morning. Let's begin with ABC's Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas in Washington. Pierre, good morning.
Tom, good morning. The news rapidly unfolding with a surprise. The Attorney General says he plans to make Bob Mueller's conclusions known to the public as soon as this weekend.
Finally, Robert Mueller's work is nearly done. On Friday, a security officer handed over his final report to Attorney General Bill Barr. In a letter, Barr officially notifying Congress the special counsel has concluded his investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election and related matters. The contents of the report, a tightly guarded secret.
I have no idea about the Mueller report.
And so the final act begins. For nearly 2 years, an epic face-off, a president loudly proclaiming his innocence.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt, and there is no collusion.
And a legendary prosecutor and lawman who has not spoken publicly in 22 months. The president relentlessly attacking the special counsel on Twitter, according to the New York Times, railing against the investigation more than 1,000 times. Robert Mueller doing his talking only through charges filed in court. 37 indictments, among them those Russians suspected of hacking the Clinton campaign and those who secretly waged a social media war aimed at sowing divisions among Americans. And there have been multiple guilty pleas involving some of the most powerful people in President Trump's inner circle. Some of its top political strategists and advisors now convicted, and even longtime friends and family members caught up in the investigation. The special counsel's first major indictments shook Washington. Mueller going after 2 of the very top people in the campaign not named Trump. Campaign Chairman Paul Manafort.
Paul Manafort has done a fantastic job.
And his former deputy campaign manager, Rick Gates.
Mr. Gates, any response to the charges, sir?
Manafort and Gates charged and convicted of bank and tax fraud, but also lying to investigators. In the process, Manafort revealed to have provided a suspected Russian intelligence officer campaign polling data. The next target, Michael Flynn, the one-time campaign advisor who famously chatted at the Republican convention.
Lock her up. That's right. That's right. Lock her up.
Flynn became Trump's first national security advisor, and he also has the distinction of being the highest-ranking member of the Trump administration charged so far.
Mike Flynn is a fine person.
Flynn pleading guilty to lying to the FBI and administration officials about his contacts with the Russian ambassador. Also a secret early target for Mueller, the president's personal attorney of 10 years, the fixer, who worked just down the hall from Trump, Michael Cohen.
I always liked Michael. And he's a good person.
Cohen pleaded guilty to lying to Congress about Russia, and he admitted to fraud and campaign finance violations, implicating Trump in a separate plot to silence a porn star and former Playboy playmate with hush money to bury alleged affairs.
So I just heard that they broke into the office of one of my personal attorneys, good man, and it's a disgraceful situation.
A relationship completely transformed.
And I will do anything to protect Mr. Trump.
The 2 men now mortal enemies.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
He's a weak person and not a very smart person.
The president's family also caught up in the investigation. Mueller locked in on what critics have called suspicious contacts of Trump associates with the Kremlin, including that infamous meeting at Trump Tower, New York, where a number of Russians showed up promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. In attendance, the president's son, Don Jr., son-in-law Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort.
It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
And there has been a parade of witnesses to a grand jury here in Washington, many involving Trump associates like friend and longtime political advisor Roger Stone, who are being investigated for their possible ties to WikiLeaks, which published damaging hacked Democratic emails stolen by the Russians. Stone now indicted and awaiting trial, accused of lying to Congress.
Yet after all those witnesses and countless hours of investigation, not a single American so far has been directly charged with conspiring with the Russians to undermine the election. And much of what Mueller has found remains shrouded in secrecy. But now the key questions. What does Mueller have to say about whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia? And perhaps now we finally get some answers about whether Mueller believes the president tried to obstruct justice, Tom.
We all wait to see and hear that. Pierre, as you mentioned, the Attorney General has told congressional leaders he may brief them as early as this weekend, which seems to be a quick turnaround for a nearly 2-year investigation. What does that tell us, if anything, and when can we expect the public at least to see portions of that report?
That is a quick turnaround, Tom. As you noted, he is going to provide a summary of Mueller's key findings by the end of this weekend, so he has a pretty good idea of what he wants to say about the bottom line conclusions of Mueller's investigation. As for how much time it will take to get a fuller accounting, our sources are saying that may be many days, if not weeks away.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.